Okay, here we go. Woo! A lot of people don't understand why I laugh when I get into these videos. You know why I laugh? I'll tell you why I laugh. Because I'm having a good time. And it's a lot of fun. And I love this game. It's your boy Chadsky. I do videos all the freaking time. Like every day. And if I'm not running videos, I'm doing streams. Okay? So I'm going to give you the content that's going to help us. Because we're all in this together, y'all. We are all family in this. We're trying to be better at this game, trying to be better with our accounts, trying to maximize the enjoyment we get out of this game, and we give you real rock life application with our videos. So if you are not a subscriber, please do so. It doesn't cost you anything. It really helps out the channels. We broke through 9,000 subscriptions. Like we're running at about 1,000 a week clip. It is wild. We've only been doing this thing for just over 2 months. And our Discord's blowing up. That's where a lot of these video ideas come from. So go check out my Discord. The link is in the description and become part of the conversation. And one of the big conversations we get into today is formations. Now, I've done tier lists for Wedge and I've done tier lists for Arch. Well, now Delta is getting ready to be the next big thing. And then maybe even Echelon. But today I'm doing my tier list for Delta. Okay, I've now got it. I got a commander to put it on. Cannot wait for the rally. I'm going to go through all the different inscriptions that you can get. And I know a lot of people are starting to get Delta. And they're trying to figure out if they're going to run Arthur primary or just keep him as a skill damage commander secondary. So that's what we've got here. Okay, so as we go through all this stuff, you can see all the different things that they have. My Delta stuff is already taking shape. I'm 7 out of 10 on my wish list. I'm going to get that pretty soon, and then I'll have all 4 special inscriptions. I'm going to run it ragged and tell you what works and what doesn't work. And I've already started all that stuff. So let's get right into it. First of all, let's talk about combo, okay? Let's just talk about the philosophy of combo damage and how Delta is made for combo. We only have one combo commander in the open field, and that's Arthur. Really, we only have one combo commander, period. Now, there's a little bit of combo aspect. Let me see. Over here, no, that's extra smite, sorry. Over here in the expertise of Luce. So there is a little bit of element with combo damage factor, right? Well, we got a big combo damage factor here. And if you run them as a primary, you get 2 combo attacks at 1,400 apiece. It's a lot of damage, okay? And then we've also got the Subutai will be the MGE commander coming. That's the rally commander. And he's got crazy combo stuff. Okay, so now we're starting to see some of the matriculation of this particular type of aspect of the game to where now we can look at Delta formation. So right now, a lot of people are running Arthur as primary with Philip secondary or Attila secondary. Part of that reason is because when you look at combo damage, it's enhanced by normal damage. Well, Attila does a ton of normal damage, and you can get that to bridge with him. And so there's all kinds of different ways to run it. We've gone through all that. I have videos of all that. But now we're going to actually look at the different types of inscriptions. We're going to look at the different types of rare inscriptions, common inscriptions. We're going to go ahead and rank them where we need to. And that's how we're going to do this. So with that being said, let me see if I can go ahead and do this here. I think I've got it. Okay, we're going to open this up. And this is our scroll here. And this is how I have the rankings of the scroll slot. Okay, I'm going to put this up here in the corner so we can kind of review it and see it. Okay, but when it comes to this, actually I'm going to put it down here in this corner. Or actually I'm going to put it over here in this corner. Let's just do that. Okay, so when we go into the codex here and we go into our scroll for Delta, okay? First and foremost, there's different degrees of value you put on the special inscription and the rare inscription, okay? And so when you look at this overall and exactly what we're trying to get done with the Delta formation, okay? We have Thrasher at the top, and it's at the top by itself. Okay, you're getting a 3.5% boost to combo attack damage dealt. You got to remember, boost is much more potent than bonus, okay? Boost is a big deal. Okay, so they're going to give you that. That's a lot like the destructive on Arch. Okay, they're just going to give you a baseline combo attack damage dealt. It's going to be a boost, which is a lot stronger. And then whenever now the difference between this and the Arch formation of destructive is that this is actually good. The destructive is bad. Whenever their troop launches a combo attack, it gains 1.5% bonus to combo attack damage dealt for 10 seconds, can stack up to 5 times. Okay, and with that. as it stacks for 10 seconds, okay, you can run this thing up to 7.5% bonus combo attack damage. It's great for rallies. It's going to be great for garrisons if they ever give us a combo garrison. Okay, so that is a very high priority. That's why we have that at S tier. That's at the top, okay? When you go in here on the second one, Pummeler, okay, now that we're going to look at the A tier, if you will, Pummeler, whenever the user's troop launches a combo attack, it has an 80% chance to gain a 10% bonus to combo attack damage dealt for 2 seconds. That's very, very good. Okay, so you can launch combo attacks with Arthur, basically from the combo tree. You can launch them. There's all kinds of different procs to be able to launch those combo attacks and then try to get an enhancement for a couple of seconds to the combo attack damage. What this is really going to be good for, and probably why I don't have it by itself in the A tier, is because this is mainly for 2 combo damage commanders together, okay? And we don't really have that right now. Like when Superdai comes out, we'll run him in the field behind Arthur and see what we get. But that's where this particular combo inscription really gets good. From there, we have Robust, which is your health, and then we have Breaker, okay? And so when you think about this for Breaker, I love this. I've always have. It's 10% chance to reduce the target's defense by 15 seconds for 3 seconds. It's like a mini web, really. And so with that being said, those are the kind of the better ones that you can get at the A tier. At the B tier, if you think, Well Clad and Pulverize, those are the 2 that we really like. Of course, defense, and then Pulverize. Whenever the troops launches a type of basic attack, a 10% chance to gain a 20% bonus to all types of normal damage for 1 second. Okay, that's great because normal damage enhances combo damage. Okay, and so that's why Pulverize is pretty high. From there, you get into the C and D tiers. You know, you've got Hurried. Hurried is where is Hurried at? Here it is. Hurried is a march speed situation. You've got Tremors. You can deal extra damage. It's just not that much damage. So you got the other ones down there at the bottom. You've got Enraged. Let me kind of show you here. The skill damage stuff does not work for combo. It's not even that good. It's a lot like the Arch Formation. So you put that just at no at the E tier, if you will. Loosed is the same thing. I think Loosed. Where is that one? At the bottom here. You're just getting 1% of normal damage. And then Furious is typically amazing for wedge formation. It does nothing for this. You get a 3% bonus to counterattack damage, okay, for those 3 seconds. And that turns out to be literally like basically you're getting 1% of counterattack damage as it averages out. So it's just nothing. Okay, so that's kind of your basis for your scroll. Okay, so put it up there, take a picture. I'll have this nice and neat on my Discord. Again, check out my Discord, links in the description. But this gives you just basically an idea of how we're running the scroll. Okay, let's go to the next one. The instrument. This is where things get freaking spicy. Okay, so let me change it over here to the instrument and give you guys an idea of what we're going to look at there. I'll bring this back in the corner. Okay, put this right over here. So we've got it, so we can talk about it. Okay, so on the instrument, you've got this thing called Butterfly. Okay, Butterfly is pretty crazy. Okay, so you still get that same boost to combo attack damage dealt like you did for the scroll. Okay, like Thrasher's got the same thing, and Butterfly's got the same thing on the surface. However, combo attacks launched by their troops are 20% more likely to trigger effects triggered by launching basic attacks. Holy cow. This is why this is so important. Let me go into a couple of things here. You've got gear, okay? Let me go to my tier 5 stuff. Do I have it in here? You've got stuff like this, okay? 10% chance to reduce the next skill damage taken. You got stuff like this, Vengeful Strike, 10% chance. You got like this, Shattered Strike, 10% chance. You got the Shield, 10% chance on Furious Strike. You have all these different ways. Fleet-footed. Let's see, that's just straight march speed. You got the same thing here, Divine Might, 10% chance. So you got 10% chances all over the place with your gear, let alone as commanders, okay? Because you got special procs that go on. Take CPO, okay? Let's go over here. While it's out of territory, you got an extra 10% march speed. Whenever the troop basic attack, you have 10% chance. Okay, so you got procs going on everywhere, okay? For skill, for gear, even for some other armaments and inscriptions, there's all kinds of things going on. And all this does with the butterfly effect is ramp up that likelihood. It ramps up that likelihood to like the nth degree. Okay, so when you look at this for Delta, all right, it's going to increase that by 20% more likely. It's 20% more likely. And for those of you asking, that doesn't mean it's 20% of 10% and they're just giving you now instead of 10%, it's just a 12%. That's not what that means. That's just literally 20% more likely. Okay. And so from that standpoint, it is busted and broken. I've already tested this thing. It's out of control. All your procs go off so much more often. It is insane. So Butterfly clearly S tier at the very, very top. Okay. Causative is a little bit weaker version of this. Of course, with the 1.5% boost combo damage dealt, combo attacks launched by their troops are 8% more likely to trigger effects triggered by launching a basic attack. So that's going to still be really, really good. And it's by itself at the A tier, okay? And then so from there, we're going to have uplifting. And it's by itself, okay? Because for every 10 seconds you're in battle. So if you're in combat in a murder ball, so many times I am in combat for 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes at a time, like nonstop, just going back and forth, keeping my rage going, staying quote unquote in combat. When you do that, uplifting ramps up the normal damage. Okay, so if you get up to 2 and 3 and 4 and 5% of normal damage dealt, okay, that means you've got 5% pretty much of all damage. It's the same as it was for Smite, because combo damage works off with normal damage, and you also have normal damage just in general, your basic attacks and your counter attacks. So I put uplifting by itself. And in a rally or garrison situation, if you don't have butterfly or you don't have causative, then uplifting is the best thing you can get. Just that's basically like a straight 5% normal damage increase on your rally. Okay, so that's why it's kind of by itself. Then I've got Fit, and Fit sits kind of there by itself in the what we'll call the C category. And then the tier down from there, you get into Armored, Respite, and Embattled. Okay, Armored, as we know, is defense. Let's see, where's Respite? Hold on. It's around here somewhere. There it is. You have a 10% chance to do 10% less damage for the next 2 seconds. That's always an easy proc. 10% less damage overall is amazing. It's great. Embattled is there as well. You have a 10% chance to gain 50 rage. I love rage. I value rage so high. I might even put Embattled up at the next tier with Fit. That's how important that is. Okay, you get into the next one, you're getting into Brutal, which is obviously the attack, 3.5% stacked stick. Vengeful, that gives you some rage for every 10% of troops you lose, which is really, really good. Like if you have half your troops left, you're going to be doing an extra 10 rage every single second. Every second. And so that's wonderful as far as what Vengeful gives you. Okay, Patronage is another one. You have 2% all damage for the next 3 seconds anytime you get healing or a shield. Okay, I always love Patronage. There's all kinds of different ways to get healing and shields, and that's one way that is really, really good. Then you get into Bluster, Fearsome, and some of these other ones. They're not necessarily amazing. You got small damage factor here. They can hit 3 targets, so Bluster's kind of meh. You've got Fearsome, same thing here. 1 extra damage to troops, meh. You got Requital. I've always kind of liked Requital, but it just doesn't do too much for us. Where is Requital? It's around here somewhere. There it is. So it's the same thing, a little bit like Breaker was, but it just does extra damage. Okay, so it's kind of got a bluster situation to it. You're just doing 100 damage factor. That's nothing. Okay, Alert's the same way. Alert gives more counterattack damage for 2.5%. War Hunger is the same way. I think War Hunger is definitely more just normal damage of all types, 1.5%. Fine Horse is a little bit of march speed, evasive. The same thing there. You're just getting more counterattack damage. Same thing as evasive is the same thing as alert. And then you got primed. Primed is it's a little bit interesting. Okay, so you have a 5% chance to bonus march speed when it has over 50, or a 5% bonus march speed when it has over 50 units. That's always pretty nice. I mean, when you're getting to the mortar ball fight, it's always nice to have an extra 5% march speed. Then Devious and Spirited are awful. First of all, I have an entire video on Spirited and why this thing doesn't work. Okay, because it falls off. The 5% extra damage falls off when you do your active skill, so you don't get that. Okay, so it's a little misleading. I have a whole video on it, and then the same thing with Devious, because that's going to enhance your skill damage. You're not doing skill damage as a combo commander. You're just not. Okay, so that's kind of your stay away from category. So that is essentially your instruments, and that's how that thing works. Okay, so let's go on to the next one, shall we? Oh, we're getting into the flag now. This is where it gets kind of fun. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this thing down because we talked about a little bit. Let's go down in here for the flag. There it is. Leonin Rampart. So the Rampant is really, really good. Let me tell you, steel skin. Okay, now you're getting damage resistance. Okay, again, damage resistance is a lot like boost for the damage dealing side of things. But when you're doing damage mitigation, resistance is much, much, much more important than just taking less damage. Okay, because you see down here, it highlights less damage. That's like the first tier, and that's always great. Less damage, more damage, that's great. Bonus to damage, great. Bonus to damage dealt, great. 1.5% less damage taken, great. But damage resistance is like a multiplier of this, okay? So it's even more important. But let's talk about this, because this is what's fun about this particular armament or inscription when it comes to combo. Every time you launch a combo attack, it takes 1.5% less damage for next to 10 seconds. This effect can stack up to 5 times. So all of a sudden now you're getting up to 7.5% of less damage taken. 7.5%. You can stack up to 5 times. 7.5% less damage taken. Okay, let me let you in on a little secret. We've seen the skills of Subutai. Okay, and he has proc chances to do combo damage, and he'll do 3 and 4 and 5 combo attacks in the same second. And when he does, boom, you get this. You get this at whatever stack that is, and you get it for 10 seconds. And if he does it again within that 10 seconds, you get to just stack on top of it, and it stacks up to 5 times. So Steel Skin, amazing. Absolutely amazing. Got to be some crazy stuff with the rally and what you do with this. Okay, Determined I have by itself at the next tier. You just gain 1.5% damage resistance. Okay, 1.5% damage resistance, I would say, is like 2.5 times damage taken, maybe 2 times. So this is just like saying 3% damage taken reduction, or 3.5 or 4% damage taken reduction. It is really, really good. It's a stat stick, and it's really simple. There's not much complexities out of this. Okay, then of course you're going to have Vitality. That's going to give us our overall health, and you get Assertive on this one for the flag slot. 2% more damage while you're on the map. That's awesome. I love Assertive. I love it for rallies. I love it for field troops. It's great. Does not work in a garrison. That's okay. Assertive is just basically 2% more damage dealt while you're on the map. Great. Okay, you get on to the next tier. You've got Metallics. Of course, that's the defense. Strategic now starts to show up in this one. Where is my strategic? There it is. 2% deals 2% extra damage to surrounded troops. Well, guess what? You're always surrounding troops. If you're in the field, you're always surrounding troops. Okay, so that's almost as good as Assertive. All right, it's basically the same thing. So I've always been a big fan of strategic. That's great. And then you've got Brave. I love Brave. If you ever get focused down, you're going to do 5% counterattack if you're surrounded. That's awesome. Like if you've got that on a rally and you get swarmed down, you're just kicking out 5% more counterattack damage. Just for reference, the Vengeance, the Book of Vengeance, that's a legendary accessory, is 8% counterattack damage. Well, if you got Brave sitting on your rally and it gets swarmed, you're getting more than half of the value of Vengeance just from an inscription off of your Delta formation. It's absolutely great. Okay, I've always liked Vengeance. And then, of course, Cohesive. We won't spend too much time on the others. You have 2% extra damage when it has over 50% of units remaining. That's the majority of the time. Not many people run it down like I do. Most people like go refresh once they hit, 40, 30, 20% troop HP, that's what you've got. And so that's basically what we're looking at when it comes to getting some extra damage when you have that. Then you've got Spiked, which is your attack stuff, Spiked and Striker, and 1.5% more normal damage of all types. Remember, normal damage enhances combo damage, so that's fine. And then you've got Eclipse. Where's my Eclipse? There it is. And you take 2.5% less skill damage. That's a skill damage mitigation. That's great. Then you got Rebuff, Warflames, and Wary. Okay, and so from that side of things, That's kind of what you're looking at. What you have to stay away from, and I'm not going to say stay away from, but on the flag, you also got some weird rally garrison stuff, okay? So let's highlight those. So I don't have to go through all the things. Galloping, ballistics, and brawler, you just don't want to do any of that. Those are the lowest tier. But then this pink here is not the low tier. It's just a special tier for rallies and garrisons. Okay, so let's go through those a little bit and refresh. 2% less damage when you have under 50% units remaining. If that's on a rally or garrison, you're going to get to 50% units remaining all the time. That's what makes that really, really important. Okay, then you have siege work. 2% more damage when attacking a city or stronghold. That's great, just more damage. Then you have sentries. Same type of deal. It's just while you're garrisoning. Okay, and then you've got pursuer. Where's that at? There it is. User's troops deal 2% extra damage to troops with under 20% troops units remaining. So if you're in the garrison and you are hitting the troops, the rally troops, the march of the rally will get below 20% units. It's going to take a little while, but it'll get there. Same thing with rally. If you got this on your rally, the garrison march will get below 20% of its units remaining pretty quick. So those are just some interesting, easy ways to look at some rally and garrison combinations that they give you on the flag. They give you those for every single different formation. So that's like the one thing. The flag is like the rally garrison slot, if you will, of any kind of armament. So that's what you're looking at there. Okay. So from there, come back down here, got the flag, and we can review this real quick. So get a nice, cute little photo of that. That's your flag. And now, last but not least, let's go to the emblem. You got Flurry and Relentless. Now, I'll explain why Hardy and Smite are at the same level of Relentless, but let's bring that down so we can go through it a little bit. So let's go to the emblem. Okay, here's Flurry, okay? Flurry gives an 8% boost to combo attack damage dealt. That's great, okay? That's like Intrepid with skill damage, and it's kind of like Fearless with Arch, okay? However, Fearless with Arch gives 8% boost to normal damage dealt. So that's basic damage, basic attack, counter attack, okay? All your attacks. It's basically all damage for Smite commanders. Honestly, Fearless is all damage for combo commanders since normal damage enhances combo damage, okay? So the only problem or difference with that is that Flurry does not affect the other parts of your normal damage. It doesn't make you any pricklier. It doesn't do anything. It's just going to affect the combo damage you're dealing, okay? Much like skill damage. You got to look at combo damage a little different than Smite damage, all right? But this is not a normal damage in this regard. You got to look at it like Smite damage. However, the difference is this is not a normal damage boost. So it's important and it's great, but it's definitely not clearly better like Fearless is, okay? Relentless, this is just a 3.5% boost to combo attack damage dealt. I put that on the level with Hardy just because you're only doing combo damage from one commander right now. Maybe if we get two, it'll be a little bit different, but the combo damage that you're doing just isn't all that high, and it does not affect your normal damage at all. Okay, Hardy's got the health, we know that, but then we got Smite. Okay, now we're cooking. I would rather take, even though this is a boost and not a bonus, I would rather take 2% more normal damage of all types. The reason why is because now you're getting the basic attack and the counter attack, and it enhances your combo damage. Okay, so I would put that on the same level as Relentless that just does a 3.5% boost to combo damage. Okay, so Smite has always been really high for me. Same thing in Arch. Arch is in the Arch formation, Smite is super high. It is absolutely great, okay? As far as priority, that's what I'm saying. Okay, the next tier down, you got Shielded, which is great. That's defense. And then you've got Deflector, okay? You take 3% less skill damage of all types. That's a really good one, okay? Then you get Infamy, which is your attack. Then you get Militant, Enduring, and Rapacious, okay? Militant, 1.5% more normal damage. That's great. That helps your combo damage. Enduring, that we've seen. Let me see. Where is Enduring? It's around here somewhere. There it is. 3% more counterattack damage of all types. That's great. I like that. Rapacious and Guardians. Okay, we'll go to Guardians first. 2% less normal damage of all type. That's good. Rapacious, 1.5% all damage. That's all kind of in the same category. Counter is the same way. Counter is really kind of cool. I've always seen high stats on counter for whatever reason. 3% less counterattack damage of all types. And then resistance. Where is resistance? Let's see here. Healer does... troops deal 2.5% more counterattack of all types. Okay, so that's all in the same thing. Then you got haste and elite, evasive, and artisan. Now I have artisan way down here at the bottom, but it's not at the very bottom because artisan does give a little bit of counterattack damage. That's perpetual, so you basically get a 1.5% counterattack damage. And then at the bottom, but the reason why it's so low is because you're not doing any skill damage. Doesn't matter. Like your combo damage is not skill damage. Daring, that doesn't have any counterattack to go with it except for 1%. That's just not, that's like basically saying you get 1% counterattack because your skill damage is not going to do anything for you. And of course, line shot is just 1% of normal damage dealt. Okay. Now you might increase that. Maybe line shot put up there with artisan. Would you rather do 1% of pretty much all damage or do it like artisan where you get 1.5% of counterattack? So you could probably put line shot up there, but that just at that point, you just stay away from these. You try to get some of the ones at the top. You try to get flurry. You try to get relentless. And that's kind of how you have to do it when all this stuff plays out for the Delta formation. Look, it's new, guys. I get it. And not everybody's going to have it, okay? So some people in the game are going to have it. Some people in the game are going to be doing some of this stuff when it comes to your Delta formation. I've already started working on it. I had stuff I could move over to it and test. And I'm going to go get this relentless. I'm going to go get this sucker and get the flurry on here. And then I'm gonna run the Subutai rallies and we're going to get nasty with it. And then I'm going to run Arthur in the field. I'm going to put Attila behind him. I'm going to put Philip behind him. I'm going to see what works and what doesn't work and the procs and the different things that work from the butterfly effect because it can be really, really broken. And so, that being said, there is your Delta formation video on what we're trying to get done in this game. And appreciate everybody always for subscribing and enjoying the videos. And if you have any questions, you can always leave me a comment down in the comments. Throw a like on here if you enjoyed the video. Also, be sure to subscribe. I've got 45% of you, I think, who watch my videos are not subscribed. Dude, it doesn't cost you anything. Just go subscribe. Go help a brother out. We are growing the channel like crazy, and we're having a really, really good time with it. So, with that being said, I hope everybody has a great day, and we'll see you later, broskies.